Okay, uh, a lot of students are always very interested whenever we are going to do cybersecurity, especially on the red team, which is the attacker. All right, so first a disclaimer. Whatever I do on my blog, on my website, on my YouTube channel, what are for educational purposes. All right, they are real attack, but they are for educational purposes of the cybersecurity course. So if you ever get caught because you're doing something illegal, I am not going to bail you out from the police. All right, that is your own issue. All right, so you should know what to do and what you're not supposed to do. Okay, so today we are going to look into stealing ID password using the SET, all right, which stand for the social engineering toolkit. Okay, so I am going to set up my SET inside my VirtualBox. All right, of course it's running Kali Linux, but you can use any form of Linux. It doesn't really matter. I'm just using Kali Linux because of it's already there. It's easier. You will notice that I'm not using the latest version. All right. Actually, the shell is not the latest version, but the framework and the attack tool inside, I have already updated it. All right. If you want to know how to update all those MSF, the tools, the framework, you go and check the other videos that I've released earlier. Okay. I don't have time to go through all of it. The first thing I need to do is I have to make sure that my VirtualBox can actually connect to the internet. So an easy way to do this is to run either a ping or a ping 6, right, to let's say Google. So if I can get a response, means I'm connected to the internet. Right? If I can't get a response, means something is wrong. Okay, so now I'm getting connection. I can see my ping coming back. So Control C. Okay, I don't need this anymore. All right. Then I will need to check my IP address. All right, because this is my attacking machine. So I remember this is my attacking machine. Okay, so either you use the ifconfig or you use the IP command. So where is my IP address? Oh, here it is. All right. Oh, got one more number. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one here first. The attacker IP address is 192.168.43.231. 192.168.43.231. So this is my attacker, which is running here. Okay, so now I know my IP address. The next thing I need to do is I need to set up my SET, which is this guy. Okay, so let me just run my SET for a while. SE Toolkit. All right. Okay, so the SET is inside. All right. Of course, there is a term of service. Okay. Yes, I'm not doing any hostile attack. I'm doing it for educational, so I'll just say yes. All right. So now I reach to this little menu. All right. There's a number of things here, but we won't go through everything in one go. All right. So today we want to do the social engineering attack, which is the attack on the user side. So I'm gonna choose, okay, social engineering attack. All right. So I have a number of vector. I'm gonna do a website attack vector. Later you will see what it actually means. So I'm going to choose number 2, website attack vector, because I'm going to create a fake website. All right, and the purpose of this website attack is to steal credential, which is the ID password. All right, so I'm going to harvest, all right, credential harvest. So I'm going to choose number 3. All right, credential harvest attack. All right, so what do I want to do now? Which type of attack I would like for my website? Okay, I can clone, I can custom, but I will just choose the easiest one for you to understand, which is the web template. Well, this one is the easiest one. The others you need to do something. Okay, now we have a message down here. Oops, sorry. Okay, we have a message down here. IP address for the postback in harvester, right? So the postback for the harvester means actually the attack machine, or where you want to send the ID and password to. So since I want the ID and password to come to my virtual box, so I will use the IP address that I have inside the virtual box. So 192.168.43.231. 192.168.43.231. Okay, enter. And what do I want to attack? All right, what type of template, right, or credential I want to attack? All right, the social engineering, SE. So it could be Java, Google, Twitter. All right, Google looks fine. Okay, let's go for Google. All right, since there's a lot of Google user, maybe we'll just use this as an example. All right, and of course it will try to clone. All right, and of course I believe you all know how to set up your web server already. All right, so your var www HTML. So press return if you understand what we are saying. I will just say yes, I know what is going on. And the social engineering toolkit credential harvester attack, all right, is running on the port 8080. All right, and by default, of course, web server most of the time will have the port 80 turned on, all right, or enabled. Now we are going to look at the victim or our target. All right, let's say the victim. Okay, so who is going to be the victim? Well, I'm going to simulate the victim. All right, so I'm going to use my window machine. Okay, I'm going to use my window machine over here. All right, it's a old window machine, but doesn't matter, I'm using it inside class. And I am going to launch my Firefox. Okay, let's say I just use Firefox. Okay, I'm running a number of things together, so it may be a bit slower. Don't close the attacking machine, because now it is actually a server. Alright, so don't close the attacking machine. Oh, I think my Firefox is running. It's at the back. Let me try to... Yep, it's just a bit slow. Okay. Is it still loading? Yes, I think it's still loading. Download. Okay, no, never mind. I don't need the latest version. I'll just dismiss this. Okay, the trick here is how do you get the victim to reach your server? Of course, we have already covered this inside the class. All right, many ways. Okay, send a fake email. All right, WhatsApp with a fake link, or go and turn on some machine, key in the IP address and leave it on and stuff like that. But the idea here is you want them to point to your server. In this case, is the Kali Linux machine, the one that is running the SCT. So let's say you are successful in getting them to your server. What will happen? So let's say 192.168, right, 43.231. Is it correct? 192.168.43.231. Okay. Right. You will start to see, okay, actually they are communicating with your server. See that? They are communicating with your server. You're seeing something occurring here. So someone is trying to get the HTTP, or get means someone is trying to load from your web server, all right, and it's coming from 192.168.43.79, which actually is your victim machine. So let's put this one down first. 192.168.43.79. So this is your victim IP address. And what does your victim see? Okay, besides seeing the IP address on top here, okay, you will see the sign in Google account. All right, so it looks like a Google account, and it has all these little thing down here, and it has an email and a password and a sign in and all these things. Okay, I'm going to do a fake. All right, I'm not going to use my real email. So let's say I will type in carslearning.org. All right, cars@carslearning.org. So this is my ID, and let's say my password will be password 1234, PASSWORD 1234. All right, and I'm gonna click sign in. I'm gonna click this sign in over here. Okay, I will say no save, don't save. Okay, it goes to Google. Well, of course the sign in is not successful, okay, because I'm not Cars, I'm actually myself. So the sign in was not successful. Okay, anyway, we don't care. Well, this is the user's problem. But now I want to point you to your attack machine over here. Do you see what happened? What I typed in the victim actually end up over here. See, I can see the email address, which is actually the ID, the username, cars@carslearning.org, and look at the password. Password 1234. This is what I typed. See what happened? So whatever the victim actually typed, the ID password gets sent to your server, in this case the SCT, and you already have it. So you have the ID, you have the password, and you know, well, what's the next thing to do? Okay, I think you can use your own imagination, all right, to identify what is the next thing that you're supposed to do. Well, technically, of course, once I can get a user to do this, basically, I will gonna write it down inside my cybersecurity audit already. Okay, remember, these are all educational, all right, for the red team. Okay, so please don't misuse the skills and knowledge that you learn over here. All right. Okay. Well, we'll cover the rest of the STT on other days or other session, or not everything at one session.